back towards 17,900.
Profit from the emerging trends in the derivatives market.
FINO data indicates that probability of a correction is high right now. I won't be surprised to see a day where 80 to 100 point Nifty correction happens.
And hedge yourself against volatile markets as we give you an update on the derivatives space.
I've seen a bit of a decline today, so the premium has come down. Market needs to consolidate more because large caps had just run up a bit too much.
Murugappa Group presents Futures Now. Throughout the day, only on CNBC TV 18.
Brought to you by Murugappa. Together, let's prosper.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Mauritius done, Cyprus next. The government has completed negotiations with Cyprus over the new double taxation avoidance agreement. The centre is hoping to shut the doors on investors using the country's tax loopholes to avoid paying taxes in India. Now, Arun Anandgiri of TaxSutra.com joins us now. Arun, thank you for joining us. Arun, are the changes similar to the Mauritius Treaty?
In November 2013, the CBDT issued a notification essentially penalizing or blacklisting Cyprus under Section 94A of the Income Tax Act for not complying with the information requests of the Indian Income Tax Department under the exchange of information provisions. But that had big consequences for the taxpayers. So all the Indian taxpayers who made payments to any resident of Cyprus, they had to perforce compulsorily deduct 30% TDS on all their payments. Now, after 2.5 years, the CBDT and the Cyprus Ministry of Finance have released a statement, and it says that all the pending issues have now been successfully resolved, number one. Then a new DTA is now going to be signed, subject to, of course, approval of the Union Cabinet, the Indian government. But a new DTA will be signed, and an important provision is going to be inserted in this new DTA that the taxation of capital gains on sale of shares will be like the Mauritius Treaty. It will be source-based taxation. However, investments made prior to April 2017, they will be protected, under the new DTA. But very interestingly, the CBDT has also said that the notification under 94A penalizing Cyprus, they will consider retrospectively rescinding. That's quite interesting, that they might consider retrospectively rescinding this notification under Section 94A of the Income Tax Act. This is what senior advocate Arvind Datar, who's filed an SLP in the Supreme Court challenging this notification, this is what he has to say.
The notification should not have been issued to start with. I mean, you sign a treaty with a country and then you blacklist it and say that since they're not giving information, you make that any payment to that country will be subject to 30% deduction at source. It was simply appalling. So even if I'm repaying a loan, I have to deduct 30%. Whether or not the resident of Cyprus is earning an income, I have to deduct 30%. The absurdity was that income tax is on income. Whether it's a resident or a non-resident, they can be taxed only on income. But here was a very absurd situation where just because you pay some amount to Cyprus, you had to deduct tax at source.
Let's talk about the big story from Deal Street then. The country's largest lender, SBI, has sold some of its stake in the national stock exchanges to Mauritius-based private equity firm Veracity Investments. Ritu Singh now joins in with more details. Ritu, how much has SBI really made from this stake sale?
After it announced its intention to go for an initial public offering, NSE's valuations have improved quite a lot. In fact, from the last transaction IFCI did just last month when it sold its stake in NSE, the transaction that SBI has completed is almost a 2.5% premium to that. So SBI, let me come back to the story, has sold a 5% stake in NSE of the 10% that it held there. SBI Caps, one of its subsidiaries, also holds about 5% stake in NSE. So collectively, they held 15%. 5% of that has been sold at a price of about 911 crore rupees to Veracity Investments. This transaction was completed, was done at a price of 4,050 per share, which takes the valuation to about 18,220 for the National Stock Exchange. The stake sale, of course, is part of the bank's strategy to exit non-core assets. In fact, we were just speaking to the MD of SBI, and they are looking to raise as much as 3,000 crores this year by divesting some of their stakes in these non-core assets. He did not specifically mention which ones they were looking at, but even with regards to this NSE stake, he did clarify that they have sold 5% now. They will look at divesting the remaining 5% they hold in NSE as well. capital adequacy of the bank, which is currently at 13.12% as of March 2016. That also is likely to get a good bolster after the money from this deal comes into SBI's kitty.
Well, Ritu, thanks for getting us that update. Well, time to slip into a very short break. But coming up, the government sparks the Uniform Civil Code debate once again, seeks the Law Commission's view on whether one law should be enough for all citizens. All those details after this short break.
One of my colleagues was celebrating his birthday. So in the afternoon, he offered me a cupcake and I said, no, I have to rush to the gym right now. And he said that, well, then you can burn it off, right? So it's good to have it. So I said, no, I don't go to the gym to burn, I go to the gym to build.
Okay, let's do one thing. It's raining, as you can see. So let's get our umbrellas on and, we'll carry forward the discussion. Ridham, if you could. Okay. So, Ridham, we were discussing...
So first thing, I'm keeping this umbrella. Okay?
Even I don't have one, actually. So, Bollywood music, what's been your favorite?
Right now, the one that I'm listening to, which I'll be listening to today when I go for a run, is the Satte Pe Satta song.
Pyar Hame Kis Mood Pe Le Aaya. Arey wah.
I love that song. Hi, I'm Ridham Desai. You watch me very often talking about the markets in CNBC studio. Now watch me unplugged with Anuj in the rains in Mumbai.